Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Camouflage of the World, the series where we take a look at many different camouflage patterns from countries all around the world for basic recognition purposes, a brief kind of history lesson, and just to form a general appreciation of different countries' takes on camouflage patterns for a bunch of different environments and seasons. I'm Mike B, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Singaporean Uniform Man's Pixelized Camouflage Pattern number 4, aka the Singaporean version of Marpat. As you can see right away, the entire scheme looks very Marpat-esque, so do a lot of other patterns, but they put their own spin on it, and we're going to get looking at that pretty soon up close. But just to give a brief overview, this was introduced around 2009 for the Singaporean Armed Forces. It is a version of Marpat, but they decided to scale it down quite a bit, and they added a color that Marpat does not feature, which we'll get to in a bit when we take a closer look. Again, if you couldn't tell, this is from Singapore. The big name tape on there that this particular example retains. This pattern is actually fairly hard to get in the United States. I think it's pretty regulated. It's like a lot of countries regulate their camouflage. I did see Singaporean troops wearing this exact pattern right around the time it came out in 2009 in Kuwait. So that's pretty interesting to actually get an example of something that I've seen actually being worn. Now, of course, Marpat in itself is a decently effective camouflage pattern, but Singapore tends to be a little bit more green than most of the United States and most places where Marpat was made for. So they decided to make this a 4-color pattern instead of a 3-color pattern like Marpat. So when we get up closer, like I said, I keep alluding to that, which we will. They added this kind of lime, weird kind of lime moss green style pixel pattern, just to make it a little bit more green for their area of operations. There is a desert variation of this too, but I do not have an example of that currently. So yeah, again, it's highly influenced by Marpat, and it's scaled heavily down. Let's just go take a look at this thing. So like I said, it's a pretty obvious rendition of Marpat Woodland, but we've got, here I'll get nice and close here, sorry about the shadows. We've got the addition of that color, that light color right there. So we've got the green that's very similar to US Marpat, but then we've got this lighter color that makes it a little bit more green and lightens it up a bit, and it's not as dark. So that's the real difference. As far as the cut of this jacket, I know nothing about that. That's not really what the video's about. It's just got a Velcro patch there. It's only got cross bayonets, it looks like, on the one. I don't know if it's on two. If you're from Singapore and you know about this, throw it down in the comments what this signifies. If that's just like a standard infantry thing or whatever. Looks like bayonets, and then of course they got the name tape, and then I believe the soldier's name would be, well, yeah, I think it was, yeah, there was a name tape on there, so the soldier's name would be there, but they left a Singapore thing on here. No other patches or anything like that. 4 pockets. Actually a pretty functional, practical design for a uniform. It's made out of what appears to be some sort of like cotton poly ripstop. It's pretty lightweight, but also quite durable. So yeah, it's a pretty, if they made this in a scaled up version and it was the same size as Marpat with this additional color, I would definitely be interested in that. That would be really cool. But it is probably about, I don't know, 60% or 70% the size of Marpat. They scaled it down so they could get more little clusters of color in there. So anyway, we'll get back to the video and we'll wrap her up. So that's really all I've got. If I could get a set in my size, which this is close, but it's just a size large, and I wear between an X and a 2X usually. So, but if I could ever get a set of this, I'd love to test it. I know I say that on a lot of different camouflage patterns, but I think this would be quite effective up here in the north woods of Wisconsin, especially in the fall when it's just starting to get kind of brown. This would be a great pattern, I think. I just want to get a set of everything and test it out. It's just so much fun and really cool. Obviously, I love camouflage patterns, and this is no exception. I'm glad I got an example from a country that's really not as well known as a lot of European countries in the United States and all that stuff. So hopefully you learned something. I enjoy this stuff. I love history. I love camouflage. I think the concept behind it and the ingenuity and engineering that goes into designing a uniform like this is just so incredibly fascinating. And how people came up with the color schemes, they tested it out. It's just insane. That's why I love doing this series, for not just for recognition purposes, but also, like I said, to form an appreciation for all that stuff. So I know it's redundant. I just wanted to make that point very clear, that that's why I love doing these kind of videos. It's more of a labor of love thing for me. I love doing this. I like to get these and either keep them in my collection if they fit, or pass them on to somebody else who will appreciate them and can probably wear it. So anyway, if you did enjoy this video and you learned something, let me know down in the comments. And I'd like to take this time to thank the sponsors of my content, my Patreon supporters and channel members. That's right, you too can become a sponsor of the channel by clicking the link in the description or hitting the join button if you want to support my work financially. $5 a month or more on either method of support gets into my Discord server, which is a really fun time. A lot of people on there, which is really a good thing. And those people over the past year, it's been really hitting hard in a good way. I have made a lot of content possible that I wouldn't otherwise be able to make. This Camouflage of the World series is one of those playlists impacted by crowdfunding significantly. This is expensive to get in the US. It's not common at all, and I had to dig for this. And if you dig and actually happen to find a pattern, you better be ready to pay for it. And just funding the channel out of pocket with everything I've wanted to do, and I'd go bankrupt if I kept going down that route, and it was kind of disappointing. Like I was still making content and stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. But with crowdfunding, I've been able to do content that I never thought would be possible, and it just keeps getting better. So if you want to do that and help the channel keep growing and see more really cool content and educational stuff, consider that. If you can't support me financially, but you want to still support my work, keep it going, you can definitely do that. You can hit the like button on this video. You can hit subscribe. I know it's the typical trope, but I think there are some people still in 2021 that don't really get that concept. So I guess I'll have to do this in every video. Sorry, it's redundant, but yeah. And then all of a sudden, also, commenting in the comment section currently helps the YouTube algorithm, and also just sharing this video out. If you know somebody, a fellow camouflage nerd like myself and probably you, and you think this is a cool video and they would get enjoyment out of it, make sure you share this video around. That's another great way to support me. Now, if you don't want to do any of those things and you either don't like me or you're just indifferent, I hate to break it to you, but you've already supported me just by watching this video. So thank you so much to everybody who's watched my videos, and I just appreciate it so much. Again, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you got any questions, I will try to answer them, but I'm not an expert. So that is all I've got for this one. Again, I know I say it all the time, but I definitely do mean it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Camouflage of the World.